High up on a snow-covered mountain, where the world seemed untouched by humanity, destiny intervened. A courageous woman stumbled upon a sight that made her heart race. A majestic lion trapped in a cruel hunter's snare. The scene was heart-wrenching. The lioness, a proud and wild creature, had one of her powerful forepaws caught in a sharp steel trap, blood staining the pristine snow. Her desperate struggles to free herself only deepened the wound, but fate wasn't done with her story. Not yet. The woman, moved by compassion, didn't hesitate. She raced back to her family, calling for their help. Each member of this brave household shared her sense of urgency, and without a second thought, they gathered what tools they could find and ventured into the wilderness to aid the helpless predator. The thought of approaching an injured, ferocious lion was terrifying, but their determination to do the right thing overcame their fear. As they reached the trapped lioness, the air was thick with tension. Her growls echoed through the mountains, a warning to stay away, but also a cry for help. Every step closer felt like an eternity. With a rope in her trembling hands, the woman carefully secured the lioness's head to keep her still. Her husband used a long stick and a broom to stabilize the animal's body, gently pressing down to minimize her movements. Their teenage son crouched down, his hands shaking as he worked to pry open the jaws of the steel trap. The family knew that one wrong move could mean disaster. A swipe of the lioness's paw could be fatal. But they pressed on, their hearts pounding, their breaths held. Finally, after what felt like hours, the trap gave way. The lioness was free. She roared, a powerful sound that echoed through the mountains, a mix of pain, relief, and perhaps gratitude. Slowly, the family backed away, giving her space to decide her next move. She stared at them, her golden eyes filled with an intensity that sent chills down their spines. And then, without another sound, she turned and disappeared into the snowy wilderness. Life went on for the family, though the memory of that day lingered. They often wondered what had become of the lioness. Had she survived? Had she healed? They hoped their actions had made a difference, but knew they would likely never see her again. 5 years later, on a stormy afternoon as rain poured down in sheets, something extraordinary happened. The family was gathered in their cozy home when they noticed a massive silhouette outside their window. At first, they thought it was their imagination, but as they peered closer, their jaws dropped. Standing in their garden, soaked but majestic as ever, was a lion. Not just any lion. Their lioness. Her presence was unmistakable, her gaze as piercing as the day they had freed her. The family was stunned. Could it really be her? How had she found them after all these years? And why had she come back? Questions swirled in their minds, but one thing was clear. This was no ordinary visit. The lioness limped slightly, a subtle reminder of the injury she had endured years ago, but she was otherwise strong and healthy. Her eyes searched the family members as if looking for something or someone. Slowly, cautiously, the woman who had first discovered her stepped outside. The lioness didn't flinch. Instead, she lowered her massive head slightly, a gesture that seemed almost respectful. The moment was surreal. Here was a wild predator, the queen of the wilderness, standing peacefully in the garden of a human family. It was as if she remembered them, as if she had come back to say thank you. Over the next few weeks, the lioness became a regular visitor. She would appear in the mornings, watching the family from a distance, and sometimes she'd linger for hours before disappearing back into the forest. Slowly, she grew more comfortable. The bond that had been forged during her rescue was still there, stronger than ever. What happened next was something no one could have predicted. The lioness, once a symbol of raw wilderness, began to show signs of playfulness. She would bat at small objects in the garden, almost like a kitten. The family's children, initially wary, started to engage with her. They would toss sticks or balls, and she'd pounce on them with surprising gentleness. It was a sight to behold, a creature that embodied untamed power, playing like a house cat with her human friends. But it wasn't just play. The lioness seemed to have adopted the family as her own. She would patrol the perimeter of their property, her sharp eyes and keen senses on high alert. It was as if she had taken it upon herself to protect the people who had once saved her. The family, in turn, treated her with the utmost respect, always mindful of her wild nature. They never tried to tame her or confine her. Their relationship was built on mutual trust and understanding. The story of the lioness and the family quickly spread, capturing the hearts of everyone who heard it. Experts were baffled. How could a wild lion form such a deep connection with humans? Many argued that animals don't experience emotions like gratitude or loyalty, but this lioness seemed to defy all logic. Her actions spoke louder than words ever could. She had chosen to return to the people who had shown her kindness, and she continued to honor that bond in her own way. The family's life was forever changed. They had always respected nature, but their experience with the lioness deepened that respect into reverence. They became advocates for wildlife conservation, sharing their story to inspire others to see animals not just as creatures, but as beings capable of incredible connections. This extraordinary tale is a testament to the power of compassion and the unexpected ways it can transform lives. When the family freed the lioness from her trap, they didn't do it for recognition or reward. They did it because it was the right thing to do. Little did they know that their act of kindness would come full circle, creating a bond that transcended the boundaries between species. The lioness's visits eventually became less frequent, and one day she stopped coming altogether. The family missed her, but they knew she belonged to the wild. Still, they cherished the memories of their time together, a reminder that even the wildest of hearts can be touched by kindness. This story isn't just about a lioness and a family. It's about the potential for harmony between humans and wildlife. It's a call to action, urging us to treat the natural world with respect and compassion. Because when we do, the results can be nothing short of miraculous. Who knows what wonders await when we open our hearts to the creatures who share our world? As the family often said, we didn't just save her life that day, she saved ours too, in ways we never imagined.